Connections Radio presents the Cause Marketing Chamber of Commerce brings businesses and nonprofit organizations together to create synergistic relationships that benefit the community. Join our tribe to network with community and business partners, increase sales, improve fundraising efforts, differentiate your brand, help worthy nonprofits, and more. Become a member today. Visit our website, causemarketingchamber.com, to see how we can help you grow your business or your nonprofit organization. Click on the Join Now button at causemarketingchamber.com. Help us build a world where social responsibility is the new bottom line.
Welcome to Breaking the Silence After Midnight. What keeps you up at night? The podcast where sleepless thoughts find spaces to be heard. Now, in our first episode, we talked about the weight we carry after midnight, the stress, the overwhelm, and the responsibilities that can make us feel like we're holding up more than we were ever meant to carry. But tonight, we are shifting from the weight on our shoulders to the noise in our minds, because sometimes what keeps us awake is not only what we have to do, but who we have to care for or what our responsibilities are. Sometimes it's the question that will not stop circling. What if this happens? What if I made the wrong choice? What if I am not prepared? What if things just don't work out? That is where anxiety, fear, and racing thoughts begin to take over. So tonight, I have a surprise guest who will be breaking the silence around those moments when the mind just refuses to be quiet. Maybe you will be able to guess who it is. She is so busy that these days that I could only catch her while she was working out on her treadmill. No makeup, no fancy clothes. So let's get started. So for my first question for our surprise guest, when you hear the phrase, the mind refuses to be quiet, what does that mean to you personally? Let me think. What does it mean to me when my brain just won't settle, when my mind won't quiet down? Well, personally, what it means to me is that when I do get into bed, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I want to go to sleep, but geez, I close my eyes and I try to think of, the different things that happen during the day, but that just makes it worse. It's like, what should I have done? What if I had done something differently? Or, I don't know, there's always so many things going through my head that it just makes it difficult to sleep. Even though, I close my eyes, like I said, and then I start to, breathe deep, but it's like I can't shut my brain down, because even though I tell myself, okay, the day's over, I'm not going to think about that. What's next? I'm thinking about tomorrow. I'm thinking about, okay, what do I have to do now? So it's that list of things that just keeps running through your head. And what if I don't get this done? What's going to happen? So that's what it means. That's what it means to me personally, when my mind just cannot rest. Wow. Yeah, that's something else. It's your mind just can't rest. I hear you. Now, can you remember a time when your thoughts started racing after midnight? Tell us about that time. That's a great question. I really have to think about this. You know, the things that made my mind race at night were different when I was when I was actually working, because I had so many deadlines to meet. I had reports that were due, or either I had to get up and get on a plane the next day.
Wow.
Or I had to have a Zoom call or a meeting with my team, or certain individuals. Or maybe sometimes it's another colleague or boss, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
Where our objectives were not necessarily aligned. And I'm concerned about that. But then, of course, you think, oh, now that you're retired, your mind should just rest, right?
Right.
But, I have a lot of self-imposed deadlines. As a matter of fact, self-imposed deadlines as far as putting information out there, different organizations that I became involved with, like the Los Angeles Tribune, and if there's meetings with that, or Toastmasters. You know me, I can't just do the bare minimum. Not only do I have one Toastmasters Storytellers Club, but I also have my Spanish Toastmasters bilingual club.
Oh, no.
So, wait, I didn't say the first one. The second one is the bilingual club. The first one is Storytellers.
Right.
So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, with the job I have for the bilingual club, what am I going to put together that I also have to put together in Spanish? And so that makes my mind race.
Oh,
so that's one of the main things. But I enjoy it so much because I'm expanding my horizons. It's the growth that I need. And so I push myself. And I'm not a perfectionist, but I want it done right.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, and I push forward because they say, if you wait for it to be perfect, you'll never get there.
That's right.
So you have to figure out, when good is good enough. So preparing for Toastmasters, preparing for the Los Angeles Tribune, and other things that I'm involved in, like Joy Lee, I push myself with speeches and the new, and of course I'm trying to think here, the new lifestyle legacy coaching LLC that I've started.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about my marketing, so to speak. I'm thinking about people that I'll be talking about in terms of building their legacy, defining their life. So, yes, it keeps me up at night. However, there are ways, I'm sure, that I can calm my brain. So, what else do you want to know?
Okay.
So let's see. What else do I want to know? What kind of what if questions tend to show up for you when anxiety takes over? What are some of those what if questions that take over? What do you think? What if? Yeah, I think I talked about some of those what ifs in the earlier question, but the what ifs. One thing I haven't talked about was finances. So I refer back to the what ifs when I was actually working in terms of finances and compare that to right now. So, as we all know, if you're working, you're bringing in a paycheck, then, and you are living within a budget, then the finances, the worry about that, the what ifs, I spend too much. The what ifs, you know,
Never
we
stops.
have a bill that was unanticipated. How's that going to affect the overall budget? That kind of thing. When I was working, it wasn't as, traumatic because, there's another check coming in. But now
Yeah.
that I'm retired and things are quite a bit limited, but we saved for, this time of our life, I still think about the what ifs. What if this doesn't stretch for the 95 years that we planned for?
Yep.
You know,
95.
I think about that, and then, having invested some in, the market,
Oh,
then
no.
the what ifs. What if it crashes tomorrow? What if things go, negatively, and everything that you work for just goes down the toilet? And other what ifs have to do with, and I know this is the middle of the night, but this is what people think about. You think about your mortality.
Oh,
What happens when I'm gone? What happens when others are gone? How does life change? And then I worry about that with other family members and their family members. And, my siblings and that kind of thing. And these are the kind of things that cause anxiety at night when you're dealing with those what ifs.
absolutely.
So, yeah, those are the kinds of things that I think about. Oh, also, obviously, because I'm on the treadmill, we think about wellness. What do we do? Even before retirement, now that, I'm semi-retired, so to speak, how do we keep it going? The wellness. And
Right.
what if something just suddenly catastrophically happens? How are we going to deal with that?
Yeah.
So those thoughts. And when it's the middle of the night, any ache or pain or sniffle or headache or shortness of breath or that kind of thing, you automatically think, okay, is this the big one? And I know many of you probably don't remember that show. It was called, it was Fred Sanford's show.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he would say, I'm coming, Evelyn, or whatever his wife
Esther, I
was.
think
You
it is.
think he was having the big one.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, you think about those things. Finances, wellness, that sort. So, yeah. What else do you want to know?
Oh my goodness. She definitely has so many what ifs. So my next question for you is how does anxiety show up in your body? How does it feel? How does that anxiety feel? Let's see. How does it feel?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's a good one. How does anxiety show up in my body?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I could tell you on the short term and the long term. In the short term, any bit of anxiety for me at this point in my life shows up as a hot flash. I mean, I know the soon as I feel like a little bit of stress here, all of a sudden, whoosh, I'm burning up. I am burning up in the short term. And that happens to me after midnight. That happens to me all throughout the day. That is a trigger. And in the long term, just overall anxiety, it shows up in being tired and not being able to sleep at night.
Oh yeah.
Adds to that exhaustion. And I'd have to say the stress affects my body because it makes me ache. So when I get the shoulders tensed and the neck tense, I ache.
Oh, I feel
And
you.
sometimes my hips ache.
Oh,
And when I think, well, what's that from? What's that from? And then if I go back and I think, what am I stressing out about? That definitely affects your body. But not only does it affect you physically, anxiety affects you mentally. So you don't have that clearness of thought. Or it makes you snap out at other people. Or makes you think about makes you selfish. Anxiety often makes me selfish.
oh yeah.
Just thinking about me and how am I going to satisfy this anxiety or whatever's bothering me. And so that affects my relationships, of course. And, and relationships, affect everything. It's not just your relationships with your significant other, but, with your friends, with your family, with your kids, your grandkids, your siblings.
Everybody.
So that anxiety just pours over in waves in everything that you do. So that I would say that those are the main ways that anxiety, stress affects me.
Wow.
Any other questions?
Well, I just might have a couple of other questions in terms of how anxiety affects your body. How about this? Have you ever realized that fear was hiding underneath your racing thoughts? Tell me a little bit about how that fear shows up. How does that fear show up?
I am so glad that you asked that question because fear has an underlying effect on just about anything that involves change. And for many of you that know me and have been part of any of my presentations and talks, I talk a lot about change and transition, change and transformation. And one of the leading things that prevent people from making changes is fear. And there's so many fears, but I've narrowed it down to the fear of failure, the fear of the unknown, the fear of loss,
Oh, yeah.
and the fear of loving again.
Really?
And when I talk about that, I'm thinking in terms of like the fear of failure. Everybody wants to do it right. Everybody wants to do it right the first time.
That's for sure.
But fear of failure should go away if you think about the opportunities for new learning. So if you don't get it right the first time, you figure out what it was that you did that you can improve upon so you have more success.
That's
so you
great.
make progress. So you can have a realistic goal for each time you attempt something new or you go, in a direction that you've never been before, which takes you to, or takes me to, the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
There's a certain amount of uncertainty that's going to be in everyone's life. But, as human beings, we crave uncertainty because that uncertainty adds a variety to life. That adds
Absolutely.
the spice to life. So when people fear the unknown, and I've had times in my life, throughout my life, that I feared the unknown. When I contemplated changing jobs.
Oh,
or
yeah.
if a job decides that it wants to make a change for me.
Yep, been
And I
there.
don't know what's going on. So there's that fear of the unknown. But then you need to prepare yourself for that. Condition yourself for being excited about the unknown. Because facing that unknown leads to unlimited possibilities. If you just get the courage to explore, to wander beyond those limits that once defined you. So yes, the fear of failure, the fear of the unknown, and then there's the fear of loss.
Oh, yeah.
Because people cling onto those things that are comfortable. And so if that's going to change, you fear of losing that thing that made you comfortable. Fear when you think about moving away from a relationship, or not necessarily, having those same friends that you had, because you're going to lose that friendship, lose that connection.
Oh, goodness.
Or if you're going to go to a new job, you're going to fear the routines. If you've been in the same job for, years and years.
Hard to do
You've
that.
developed a routine. You've developed a way of doing things. But then if you move to a new job, then you lose that routine. So loss covers a lot. And then the fear of, loving again.
Oh,
And
right,
that's part of the thing. The fear of loving again isn't necessarily moving from one relationship to no relationship and thinking that, will I ever love again? That's one part, one minute part.
Yeah.
But if I give an example, like when I decided to move from our old house to this house, you had relationships with your neighbors. Am I going to lose that? And am I going to develop new relationships? Loving the people in the new neighborhood.
Wow.
And as it turned out, our neighbors get along great, and we would go to dinner and do different things and, do things that neighbors do, because we took the leap to move to a new neighborhood. So if you have something that you love, and you know that a change is going to mean that you're going to have to give up something, then you get the opportunity to find something new.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a certain activity or a hobby that you used to do, but I don't know, as you get older, like my hobby was tennis, and I don't know if I'll ever get back on the tennis court, but who
Maybe.
knows? But there are other things now that I love, that I do.
Like?
I don't know if I can say I love being on this treadmill, but, it's something different. And pickleball, by the way, will never call my name, just so you know. Anyway, so yeah, fear does play a part in those things that keep me up at night. That's for sure.
Oh, wow. I could see that you are really working out on that treadmill, and I'm just going to keep on going as long as you can continue having this interview with me. So my question for you now is, do you tend to replay the past or rehearse the future or try to control things that have not yet happened to you yet?
Not only do I have one Toastmasters Storytellers Club, but I also have my Spanish Toastmasters Bilingual Club. With the past affects your present. Your relationship with the future affects your present.
Yes, indeed.
That's why so many people, so many philosophers so many people that know everything about everything. I'm kidding now, but they say, live in the present, enjoy now. And for me, do I rehearse nonsense that went on in the past in my mind in the middle of the night?
I bet.
Yes, I do. We talked about that, I think, in one of those other questions. But you have to develop a relationship with your past that tells you it's okay. Let it go.
Let it go.
Because you cannot change the past, no matter how hard you try.
That's right.
And a lot of times that would keep me up, because I think, what could I have done better? What should I have said? Can I make it better? So when I would rehearse those things from the past that kept me up, and it would keep me up at night, the thing that helped me to make peace with it would be to think, this is here, this is now.
Yep.
What can I say? What can I do to move the situation forward? Not ignoring, forgetting, but how can I think about this in a different way? It's like reframing it.
Oh,
A
yeah.
lot of times when we are in a situation, we stay right where we are, and everyone reacts to situations in a different way. And so I had to reframe how I did act and think about the situation differently, and then focus on, how do I feel about it now? Why do I feel that way? And just identify what it truly is that's bothering me, and then get an outcome in my mind that I want to happen, and then take small steps to get to that.
That's great advice.
And then talk about the relationship with the future. We talked about that a little bit already. The what ifs,
Right.
So many what ifs. Take those what ifs out of your mind, because that is the future. You plan for the future, you set goals, but you don't just obsess
Yep, that's
about
right.
what is going to happen next. The difference between obsessing about it and planning for it are night and day,
Absolutely.
even in the middle of the night.
Yep.
But still, you have to have a relationship with the past to make your present comfortable. You have to have a good relationship with the future, a realistic relationship with the future, so it does not affect your present. And live in the present. Presence gives you safety.
Yes.
Safety within.
I agree.
Any more questions for me?
I think I might have a couple more. Let's see. What do we have here? We're almost there yet. Let me ask you this. What have you learned to do when your mind begins to spiral, to get out of control?
I have some bad habits when it comes to my mind racing and spiraling in the dark. And I'm identifying it as a bad habit because they say when you pick up your phone and the light from the phone affects your brain, it causes your brain to race, that, that's going to add to a person not being able to sleep. But for me, this habit has helped me in a way because I pick up my phone to read and it's on dark mode. And so I'm reading about things that either I'm preparing for, or reading about things that calm my mind, reading about things that will enhance my presentations. And this, when I've come to a certain point and I've yawned 3 times, that's a signal to me ooh, I'm relaxing, I'm getting tired. Maybe this is the time to shut it off, turn over, close my eyes, go to sleep. Now, when I was writing my books, particularly the purpose, prompts for purpose and perseverance.
Yep.
I can tell that I'm on the treadmill now and it's building a little bit. I'm
Breathing
reaching that
hard.
hour.
Yep.
So, in any event, prompts for purpose and perseverance. When I was writing that book, thoughts about the quotes I would use would pop into my head in the middle of the night. Sometimes
Really?
I've already fallen asleep. I'll wake up and a situation will be in my brain and I'll develop a quote about it.
Wow.
And then what I would do, I'd pick up my phone, put it in my notes, put it down, think about it, think about the wording that I would use in the quote. And then that would relax me because I'm thinking, I'm making progress on my book. I have to say, 80 to 90% of my quotes that are in my book, Prompts for Purpose and Perseverance, came to me in the middle of the night.
That's incredible.
And even though I talk about, what keeps me up at night, that was actually a good thing because it helped me to move forward so I could get my 52 quotes for the year. So when you think about the stories and the quotes that are in my book, Prompts for Purpose and Perseverance, it all came to me, well, most of it came to me in the middle of the night.
Amazing.
So that was a good outcome. And you can turn anything that you're worried about, thinking about, in the middle of the night into a positive if part of your relaxation is feeling what it feels like to be confident or to be calm. So I would put in my head, when was the last time I felt really calm, really confident? And then replay that scenario in my head.
Wow.
And then try to relive that feeling so then I could relax and go back to sleep. Is it a process? It is. Because if you have a process that you can rely on to get back to sleep, then that's going to help, especially when you tend to do those things that keep you up at night.
Wow, that has been really incredible. I can definitely benefit, just like all of you out there, from some of that great advice that she talks about, turning this whole thing into a process. So I need to ask you one more question. What would you say to someone lying awake after midnight, feeling trapped by anxiety, trapped by fear, or trapped by, your racing thoughts?
Well, first of all, I'm hoping that it's not after midnight when you're watching this. But what would I say to someone who is lying awake at night and their thoughts are racing what they should do? It was like that last question that you asked me, and that was, what do I do? Well, I establish a process, and that's what you should do. When you know that your mind is racing, try to breathe, first of all. A lot of your stress is what you're keeping inside. So you inhale, hold it, slowly release it.
Wow.
And then you just calm your body as best you can.
Okay.
And then you think about a time when you could sleep. A lot of times what I do now is when it's time for me to get up in the morning because I have something to do, but I don't want to get up in the morning and I just want to roll over and go back to sleep, I put that roll over and go back to sleep feeling back into my body.
Yeah.
Because it's the middle of the night, and feel how that feels. And then that helps me to feel like I want to roll over and go back to sleep. And you can also think about, like I said before, when do you feel most calm? And think about that and replay the whole scenario. Like a lot of times I feel really calm when I'm in my I would say Barcalounger. It's, my recliner.
Yeah.
And it's right before I get ready to watch TV. Or either I'm, in my recliner and I'm reading a book. Or when I'm sitting there with a cup of hot water and lemon. And I'm so relaxed. And I put that relaxing scenario into my head. So that's what you should do. You should develop a process that, I'm awake now, but let's have a breathing, session where I could just breathe and relax and put myself in that state that I was in before when I felt relaxed. And then that would be the thing that begins to calm you. And then also you can think of the one thing, the one step that you could take tomorrow when you wake up.
Yeah.
And that'll give you a sense of accomplishment.
Exactly.
While, you are up at night. And then you can feel that tomorrow I have that one thing I'm going to do that's going to help me overcome this problem, overcome this fear, overcome this stress, overcome this anxiety. And that may help you. But what they always say, if you do have problems sleeping, you should always talk to your talk to your doctor about it, because maybe it is something physical that's keeping you up at night. So, but never go to alcohol because you think that's going to make you sleep. Because alcohol may make you sleep temporarily, but you're going to wake up and you're going to be up all night.
Yeah.
And it may make you sick. It may, turn your stomach. So there are certain times for it, but nighttime, right before bed, is not the time for it. So my message would be, you too can overcome your anxiety or your stress or whatever it is that you're thinking about that's keeping you up at night by establishing a process, a plan. So I think this might be the last question, but I really have enjoyed being on this podcast today. Thank you for inviting me.
Wow, that was incredible. Such good advice, especially in terms of just establishing a process. And so I really want to thank you for joining me for this conversation of breaking the silence after midnight. What keeps you up at night? So tonight we explored those moments when the mind refuses to be quiet, the anxiety, the fear, the racing thoughts, and the what ifs that can become louder when your world just goes still. But next time, we will continue this after midnight journey with episode 3, stories about the darkness that feel heavier than the night. Because sometimes what keeps us awake is not just the noise in our minds, it is the weight in our hearts. Until next time.
Classy Communications provides public relations and marketing solutions for businesses, professionals, and nonprofit organizations. They can deliver the true meaning of your business with press releases, social media marketing, web development, email marketing, book publishing, and much more. Wherever your potential clients are, they can help you connect with them. Visit classycommunications.net to learn more about their suite of services that can help your business stand out from the rest. Classy Communications is your solution for business success. PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.